Good afternoon. I'm Jacani Cole, and the industry that I chose for my presentation is the NFL, also known as the National Football League. So, the National Football League originally came together in the year 1920, and the place of origin was Canton, Ohio. And this is significant because if you keep up with the NFL and, a lot of the legends, the best players, when they get inducted to the Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio is where their bust is created and all that, and that's where the official induction is. Like Walter Payton right there, one of the greatest running backs of all time, was inducted in Canton, Ohio, just like all the other Hall of Famers. Just 10 teams in total. So you have the Arizona Cardinals, who are technically the oldest team in the league, the Chicago Bears, who Walter Payton played for, the Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants, the Detroit Lions, who play on Thanksgiving every year, the Washington Redskins, who had their name changed to the Washington Football Team, Pittsburgh Steelers, who share the most Super Bowls of all time with the New England Patriots, got the Philadelphia Eagles, the LA Rams, who moved to St. Louis and now are back in LA, and then you have the Cleveland Browns, and they had some confusing thing with their franchise as well. Their franchise moved to Baltimore, and they're known as the Ravens now, and then the new Cleveland Browns showed up. And then the first Super Bowl was in 1967, where the Green Bay Packers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 35-10. But now we're in Super Bowl 53. It's kind of crazy to think about so many years later, we still, watch the Super Bowl. That tradition was started so long ago, and now we're over 50 games in. And it's still one of the most watched things in television worldwide. When the Super Bowl comes on, everybody tunes in. So the mission statement for the NFL is, we unite people and inspire communities in the joy of the game by delivering the world's most exciting sports entertainment experience. So what you can grasp from this statement is that they prioritize the fans first. And, football is it's America's most popular sport and the most watched sport. So the fact that the NFL can bring us that, it's the highest talent pool for football in the world. So you already know the audience is going to be really large. So they got a lot to be responsible for in terms of fans. So as far as the key stakeholders in the NFL, it's broken up into about 4 categories, and it's going to be the board of directors, the commissioner, the team owners, and the NFL Players Association. Now, the board of directors, they kind of fall in line with the commissioners and the referees, but the commissioner usually is, controlling the sales, the NFL executive, the office, the Hall of Fame, the entertainment. The NFLPA Players Association is mostly just dealing with the players. And then the team owners, they're more responsible for the teams, facilities, the staff, even the food companies, cheerleaders, things of that nature. With the NFL being as big as it is, there is a lot of controversy involved with the league. But there is good and bad. Now, some of the good is that the ratings every year are pretty good. The fans that watch football, they're always going to watch it. There was a point last year with the NBA where people they weren't watching the NBA games as much, but the NFL fans are going to watch every year. The talent is coming in at an all-time high. Teams are just getting better and better. But the cons is that player safety isn't prioritized quite enough, for my liking at least. The referees are always being slandered. It's always a constant issue, game after game, with the referees calling, petty fouls that shouldn't have been called. It just blatantly seem to be favoring the other team. And then sometimes there's questionable and inconsistent player discipline. There's the Josh Gordon case where he didn't play for almost 3 years just over marijuana. But then you have other players that have been in abuse cases, and then, they still get to play. So that's not a good look for the NFL. So they should at least be consistent with that. When talking about the future of the NFL, I see a lot of good things in the future. Because like I said in the last slide, there is more and more talent coming into the league. Teams are getting better and better. Even if you look at this season, the amount of close games from Each team seems to be, crazy. There are a few divisions right now where the worst team in the division is still near 500, and that's something that we usually don't see. And parity is at an all-time high. You can never truly predict who's going to make the Super Bowl. For leagues like the NBA, you have a good idea of who's going to make the finals. But for the Super Bowl, it seems to change every year, unless Tom Brady's there. He's like really the only consistent person. Other than that, there's new good teams every year. And then it's getting even harder in free agency to convince these players to stay, because it's getting hard to pay all of these good players the amount of money that they deserve. So as far as the types of careers in the NFL, obviously there's, actually playing in the NFL. But other than that, there's more experienced football minds that be fit for a coach or a coordinator, offensive, defensive coordinator. There's always going to be a need for a training staff, strength coaches, health staff, even lower entry-level jobs like a water boy. You have the cheerleaders, and then you even have the more underrated jobs like a video coordinator or cameraman, things of that nature.